Hyper-V VM. It's going to be a pretty minimal setup. So let's start. For this, we have a checklist. We are going to follow this checklist, and I have opened the installation guide, official installation guide of Arch Linux, and I will follow another pretty similar installation guide from GitHub. So let's start. First, we need to set up a Hyper-V VM with 4 cores, 6 GB RAM, 30 GB storage. So let's start Hyper-V Manager. Create a new VM, virtual machine. Next, name Kotlin. I'm going to try out IntelliJ IDEA IDE for Kotlin. So I'm going to try check out the Kotlin programming language later. So that's why I'm creating this virtual machine basically. Next, selecting generation 2. Generation 2 is newer and it has some pretty new features. UEFI based firmware, and it has some pretty amazing modern connectivity which is required to connect host OS host system and Linux VM. So next we need to allot 6 GB RAM, right? 6144. We need to disable the dynamic memory because Linux sometimes bugs out and some issues with dynamic memory, so we need to disable this one. For networking, we are selecting the default switch. Next, this is the virtual hard disks. So we are allocating 30 GB. We need to allocate 30 GB storage for this one. Next, install an operating system from bootable image file. So I have already downloaded the Arch Linux bootable installation ISO. So I am selecting this ISO. Next, finish this process. Now we need to configure this some settings for this VM. Bootable drive, DVD drive, bootable ISO is already number 1, so we are not going to change this, but we need to move down this network adapter boot option. Otherwise sometimes it's not going to detect the hard disks or DVD drive. So this should be our last boot option. Memory is 6 GB, that's correct. Processor 6. We are actually need to select 4 core for this. So driving it down to 4. Secure boot, we need to disable the secure boot, otherwise will not detect our bootable CD. Then these seems all right. All right. Kotlin integration service. We are selecting all the integration services. Segment we need. I'm going to disable the checkpoints. I don't need it. You can keep this or don't, doesn't matter. Start action, I'm selecting nothing, and stop action, turn off the virtual machine. I'm not going to save the virtual machine state, so apply this. Okay, now this task is completed. Next, boot installation environment and check prerequisites, setup network, time zone, etc. So let's boot this virtual machine. Connect, start. Let's select Arch Linux install medium. We don't need space, so Arch one is the correct. So it's ready. Now we need to follow the installation guide. Installation guide. Let's say let's verify the boot mode first, as instructed by the installation guide. Cat system EFI FW size 64 is correct. Now check the network, connect to internet. So we need to check the network interfaces, right? IP link. So network interface is up. Let's ping Arch Linux address. Ping dot. So we can connect, receiving ping from Arch Linux website. So internet working just fine. Let's clear this screen. Next we need to update system clock. Update CTL. Okay, local time is it is UTC, so time zone is UTC, so we need to change this. Time date CTL set time zone. We are setting the time zone. Time zone. I'm from India, so I'm selecting Asia, Kolkata, Indian time zone, right? Kolkata. Okay, let's check again. TIMDATCTL. Okay, now time zone is Asia, Kolkata. Now we need to set up the let's check. We need to check and set up the NTP server. Sync with NTP server. Time, date, set NTP room. Okay, typo here. CTL. Okay, time, date, CTL. Okay, NTP server is active. Let's check our task list. Task list, boot installation environment, check prerequisite, time zone, etc. It's completed. So next is disk partition. Okay, For disk partition, I'm going to follow this guide. It's pretty detailed. So we are not legacy system. We are using UP partition scheme, UP system. So GPT partition scheme we are selecting. So we need to set up our disks as GPT. For UP system, we need to set up our disks as GPT table. Let's fdisks list our hard drives. So it detecting our hard drives correctly, 30 GB. Let's label it as a GPT. PRTED parted DSDA S ZPT. Now fdisks SDA. So we need to partition our hard disks now. I'm going to create 3 partitions, one for boot, one for swap, and one for root file system. I'm not going to create separate partition for var and home directory. So I'm using same root partition for all of this stuff, all of the files. So 3 partition. Partition, let's M for help. Oh, it's correctly detecting its GPT partition table label. Now let's first print the partition label P. Okay, 30 GB and disk label type GPT. Okay, now N to add a new partition. Let's N. Default is 1. For sector, here is a caveat. For boot sector, the boot partition should be within first 1024 cylinders, because you never know when a kernel update or disk defragmentation may occur and making your system completely unbootable. So as a matter of fact, I'll be installing rolling release and stable release for us. So we need to select the partition should be within first 1024 cylinders, right? So it's 2048, so I'm selecting 1024. Okay, for size and 250 MB. Okay, created a new partition. Let's add second partition. 2 seems right. I'm all right. Since we have 6 GB system memory allocated for this VM, so we need to same amount of swap space for that this virtual machine, so that we can dump the whole memory into the swap space, right? So from 30 GB we need to at least remove 6 GB, right? So I'm selecting 20 first sector default, it's right, plus I'm selecting 23 GB. Okay, second partition is created successfully. Let's create another for swap and 3. Okay, whatever is left. Okay, okay, let's again print the partition table P. Okay, SD1 is 250 MB for boot partition, and SDA2 is the main root file system, which is 23 GB, and SDA3 is for swap. Let's now change its partition file system type. M T to change print T to change a partition type. Okay, T 1, we need to list all the partition types. Okay, if you boot system, which is 1. Okay, 1, select 1. Okay, change type of the partition from Linux file system to EV system. Okay, let's print the partition table again. Okay, is SD1 is the which is the bootable partition. Boot partition is changed to EV. Now change to EV. Let's change the SDA2, the second partition, T2L. I'm going to BTRFS file system for this one. Let's check if we find BTRS file system here. UFS, ZFS, BTRFS. Is there BTRFS? I can't find it. BTRFS. I can't find it. Let's ignore this one for now. Let's change the swap partition to swap. T again 3 L. Okay, swap is swap 19 is Linux swap. Okay, 19. Okay, partition is successfully changed to swap. Okay, let's print the partition again P. Okay, first boot partition is EV, successfully changed to EV system, and swap is successfully changed to swap system. But we need to change the second root partition to BTRFS. I'm going to BTRFS for this file system. So FTX probably do not have the BTRFS system, so we're going to use a different method for this. Let's write this partition table to the disk. For this W, we need to type W for write this table to the disk W. So FTX again, FTX. Okay, we have created 3 partitions. Let's Google what do we need to BTRFS. BTRFS. Okay, this is the BTRFS command. Let's change our partition to btrfs. mkfs dot btrfs. I don't need name the drive and name the partition, so not naming the level. Don't name the level, name the partition, so I'm leaving that option. So n is the node size. I'm choosing 32k node size. Selecting second partition as SDA2. Okay. Performing full device trim level now. ID node size, file system size 23 GB. Okay. BDRFS file system created successfully. Now we mount format disk, format the we have already formatted the root partition. Now we need to format the EV partition. mkfs dot fat. This is a fat system, file system. So f32 dev sda. For this we need to select the first partition for EV. So this is formatted to EV file system. Now swap. For this we need to now format the swap partition and swap file system. mk swap dev sda3. Third was the swap partition. So okay, this is done successfully. Now next partition, we have already done this. Format already, we have already formatted the partitions. Now mount, we need to mount the partitions. For this mount mount the root file system first. dev selecting root file system as SDA2. This is a BTRFS file system, SDA2 to MNT. Okay, now we need to mount the boot file system, dev SDA, this is the first partition, to MNT boot. Okay, this failed. Boot path is not done, doesn't exist. So to create the okay, we need to create the boot path. Mount mkdir make to okay. Now for swap on the third partition SDA3. Okay, let's ls l okay. Everything mounted correctly. Let's select mount. Okay, drive partition 2 is mounted on MNT, partition 1 mounted on MNT boot. Okay, let's move to next task, format and mount. This task is completed. So perform backstrap, then F step, then change root to the newly installed file system, root system, root directory. Change root location to newly installed root directory. Now let's perform backstrap. Backstrap is installing packages from Arch Linux repos. So we need to select, for this we need to select the packages we are going to install. So I have already went through and plan which packages we need to install. So these are the packages: base package, which is quite obvious, base Arch Linux package, then Linux kernel. I'm going to use LTS version of Linux kernel, then Linux firmware. All the drivers are included in this package, and for obvious reasons sudo. And for text editor, I'm choosing Neovim. And for an obvious reason, we need to manage our networks. So network manager for managing networks, and bootloader. We are going to use the grub bootloader and ep boot manager. And obvious, get it quite obvious. And Hyper-V, since we are installing this our setup on Hyper-V, so Hyper-V package is will be quite useful. CIFS utils, this is something unique. This is this package provides the shared directory, Windows shared directory protocol. So I will be using some shared directory between the Arch Linux VM and Windows host. So this will provide those facilities, right? Alacritty, which is the graphics terminal emulator. Then I'm going to use this TTF Furacode Nerd font for Alacritty terminal, and Hyprland, obvious reasons, for Wayland compositor, and Xorg Xwayland for old X11 application for compatibility reasons. Let's type this out. Backstrap. Now we are okay. Backstrap. Yes. Backstrap K. MNT. The root file system is mounted there. Then we need to select these packages: base, LTS, X firmware, sudo nvim, network manager, grub bootloader, ep boot mgr, git Hyper-V, CIFS utils, Alacritty, Alacritty, TTF, Fira code, NART, Hyprland, Hyprland, X, org, X, Wayland. Okay. This packets now verify again. Base Linux LTS, Linux firmware, sudo Neovim, network manager, grub, boot manager, git, hyper-v, CIFS utils, Alacritty, TTF, Firanar, Hyprland, XOR. Okay. Okay. It went through correctly. It will take some time. 815 MB, so it will take some time. % 10% done. Then after backstrap, we need to generate app step. Okay, app step. The app step file can be used to define how disk partition and various other blocks devices or remote file system should be mounted into the file system. So it's a pretty important step. After backstep, we will generate the app step file. Let's check again. 35% done. Backstrap is already done. We are waiting for the backstrap to complete. Okay, 84% done. 85%. So it's almost done. Okay, downloading is done. Now checking packages, installing. Okay, backstrap process is completed successfully. It took 4 minutes 25 seconds. Let's clear the screen. Now we need to generate the fstep file. For this, the gen fstep command will execute this command. Gen fstep u and d etc fstep. Okay, let's save this get this fstep file and the etc fstep. Okay, the fstep file is generated correct successfully. We can here see the three partitions. First, the root partition, the dev /sda2, which is the root partition. BTRFS correctly detecting BTRFS file system. Second, SDA1, which is the boot, correctly detecting boot partition, the partition, and the SDA3 is the swap, which is correctly detecting the swap partition. So clear this screen. So this part now we need to change the root to the mounted file system, right? For this we need to follow the this command. ch. Okay, oh, I forgot to specify the mounted directory. Okay, clear the screen. Now this part is complete. Configure the time zone local sudo host pacman. So this task is pretty lengthy, so we will try to complete one by one. Let's first configure time zone. For time zone, we need to create a symbolic link of the time zone file. ln sf usr share zone. Area is Asia, and location is Kolkata. The symbolic linking location is etc local time, etc local time. Okay, let's get this etc. Okay, the sim link is successfully created, detecting ISD 530, which is correct. Now we need to generate generate exact adjust time. Okay, hardware clock HWCLOC as well as sys to HC sec and then access to UTC, ensure your clock is set to UTC. This command assume hardware plans UTC. UTC. Ensure your UTC. Okay. Next, localization laws. Setup language settings. US EN US UTF 8 UTF 8 ETC local. Okay. Generate the localization file. Use the correct region and the localization and uncomment generate. Okay. Generating locales done. Now next, local conf file echo. We need to create this local conf file, so we'll echo out this line to the local conf file. This will be easier. Echo lang en us dot utf 8 to unlock conf, right? Echoing out lang equal to enus dot utf 8 to etc local conf. Okay. etc etc conf local conf. Okay, let's get this get etc. Okay, created successfully. Now set the host name. Okay, we need to create this vconsole file. Again, echo out is echo keymap key map equal to us to v console etc v console.conf. Okay. Now network configuration. Host name. Need to create this host name file again. Echo my VM name is Kotlin, so again I'm keeping same name as host name Kotlin as host name to etc host name. Okay, cat this out, cat etc host name. Okay, Kotlin cat v console. Okay, everything seems correct. Now we need to generate make. Okay, let's check first the task. Time zone already done, local done. Oh, we need to create the sudo. This guide do not provide any information on sudo, so I'm going to follow this guide for sudo. Okay, add a user, a user add m z sis will users adm log s bin bash. Okay, first check options. Help. What m does? M it's create home directory for the user. Okay. Z uppercase Z, capital Z, list of supplementary group of the new account. List of supplementary groups of. Okay. S, what as the cell? Login cell of the new login cell of the new account. Okay. Let's use add m z s system will users adm log 5 as bin bash this is my username resume access. Okay, done. Create a password for your user. Okay, PASSWD, but I need to select the user account. password updated successfully. Now edit host. NVIM EDC is the host. One, 2, 7, 1. Host name, my host name is Kotlin. Local domain Kotlin. Save this. Now set up sudo user. See, editor npm for us vis. Okay. Find the following line. Find the following line in that file. Will all. Let's search this. Okay. We need to uncomment this. Done. Then we need to add multi-lib repo to the pacman configuration. npm etc. Okay. This is multi-lib. Okay. We need to uncomment these 2 lines. Okay, done. Now we need to sync the repos back. Sync completed. Okay, optimize the mirrors. I don't need this. Now need to generate the RAM disk. RAM disk is required to required for initial boot phase. Let's generate the RAM disk. MK CPIO, making it CPIO. P, uppercase P is for all templates, but I am using the Linux, and lower case P is for specific template. So my template is Linux LTS, so I'm selecting Linux LTS. Let's generate RAM disk. It's created successfully. Let's ls. Boot. Yes, init RAM fs created. Now root password already done. Bootloader, we need to install the bootloader. For the bootloader, so I'm going to follow this guide again. Okay, grub, we have already downloaded grub. If you put another, we don't need OS proper package, and this is for dual boot system, multi OS system, so we don't need this. Let's start this command grub, create grub file for your system. First test the performance, done. Next is install grub bootloader Hyper-V and enable system control services. So let's install the grub bootloader. Grub install target equal to x86 system 86 64 bootloader ID equal to grub EFI directory EFI directory directory equal to boot EFI. Okay, grab answer invalid option E. Okay, some typo. Okay. Okay. Grab install error, failed to get canonical path of. Okay, we need to create the EFI directory. mkdir boot EFI. Okay, let's try again. Installing for x86-64 EFI platform. Finished. No error reported. Now generate the grub configuration file. grub mkfig o boot grub.cfg. Okay, Linux is found. Initer MFS found. Warning OS browser. Okay. System will not be added to the boot configuration. Done. Okay. Okay, and we need to already download the Hyper-V. Okay, Hyper-V. We need to enable system services. Okay, yes, enable vital system services. System system CTL enable network manager. Network manager. Okay, done. Light DM service, I don't have this. WPA supplement service, I don't have this. Pulse audio, I don't have this. Again, I don't have pulse audio. Then we need to set up done, ping done. Okay, post installation already done. The Hyper-V, installed Hyper-V. We need to enable this Hyper-V services, right? CTL enable ASP KVP DA service. Okay, done. System CTL enable ASP VSS service done. Another service ASP F copy daemon, but a Hyper-V package does not create this service file, so we need to create this. And here I am location etc sys tmd sys system asp fcop copy uio service. Okay. No identifier. Insert mode. Okay. Unit description equal to Hyper-V file COP service UIO ASP is okay. Condition path exists exist VM bus devices VM bus UIO ASP generic condition path exist. Next is services service exact start start exact start user bin ASP FCOPF copy UIO daemon install wanted by multi user dot target. Okay, done. To save this, let's verify. Description Hyper-V file copy service generic condition path exists. bus devices PM bus UI is generic exec start service exec start user bin ASP copy user bin ASP copy UIO daemon -n install wanted by multi-user target. Okay, save this. Done. Now need to enable this. Yes, YS system CTL enable ASP SBF copy FCOPUF copy UIO. Okay, enabled. Now done. Task system control services are all services are enabled. Now exit and reboot. Okay, exit and reboot. Okay, let's done. Let's exit and reboot. Okay, we need to select the boot priority. We need to change the boot priority. So settings, boot file, need to move down this one. Okay, apply. Okay, let's start again. Oh, it's not working. Okay, settings, grab, Kotlin is selected. Okay, it's not working. Let's reinstall the grub. Again. For some reason, not loading. Let's Google. Boot. Okay, we need to reinstall the grub. We again need to mount the partitions. Mount first fdisk and disk. Here are the partitions. So let's mount dv device sda2 as a root. Okay, and mount dv sda1 to and boot. Okay, swap on dv sda3. Okay, mount. Okay, mounted. Okay, so next step, let's reinstall the grub install target x 86 64 EFI. Directory equal to bootloader id equal to grub. Verify again. Let's verify. Grub install target x86 64 EFI directory to bootloader ID grub. What? Oh, we need to change the root to mounted partition. Okay, okay. Again, grub install target equal to x86 64 EFI directory equal to boot loader ID equal to okay. Installation finished. No error reported. Let's generate the configuration file. Zr grab make config o boot cmc. Let's get boot I don't know why it did not work. Let's rm this boot grabbed .c. Okay, let's generate the grab configuration file again. Grab mk config con make config grab make config boot grab cmc. Okay. Okay, let's exit. Okay, exit. Shutdown. Let's verify down boot priority list. Out from file, hard drive. Okay. Okay, let's again. Okay, now it's working. For some reason, first time it didn't work. I don't know why. Okay, let's log in. My user is okay. Now install grab exit reboot. Done. Start Hyprland and generate the config file. Since terminal to Alacritty. Okay. Start Hyprland. We need to visit the Hyprland. Okay. Hyprland. Getting started. Okay. Installation. VM. Okay. Launching Hyprland. Installation. Master tutorial. Okay, install Hyprland. Already done. manual. Running in a VM. Hyper-V do not support 3D acceleration, so I don't need this. For sake, ls let's go if RP ls mod. Okay, let's ls mod. Ls mod. Okay, Hyper-V keyboard loaded. Hyper-V HP utilities. Okay. Hyper-V DRM loaded. Hyper-V VM bus loaded. Okay. Hyper-V VM bus. HP balloon, HP utilities, HP net, PSC. HID, HP. Hyper-V keyboard, Hyper-V DRM. Okay, so everything seems correct. Now VM, we don't need this part since Hyper-V do not support. Hyper-V does not support 3D acceleration. So launching start Hyprland. Hyprland can be executed. Okay, start Hyprland. Let's start Hyprland. Okay, Hyprland started. Warning, you are using auto generated config edit config file to get rid of this message. Config file home conf super cute kitty if double class make it sure okay super okay. First we need to change the terminal to Alacritty. I don't have Kitty, so Kitty terminal. So we need to change this to Kitty. Super M to exit Hyprland. So exit this. Okay. Let's change this config file. Config ASP Hyprland config file. Okay, let's change the terminal to Alacritty. Okay, done. Okay, let's launch Hyprland again. Okay, now launch Alacritty. Okay, Alacritty started successfully. Let's follow the Hyprland guide. In Hyprland, Alacritty done. Done. Critical software monitor config. Let's monitors. To list all available monitor. Is control monitor all. Let's use this command. Okay, now configure the Hyprland. Okay, last task of the day. Let's configure Hyprland. To list all monitor HYPCL. Okay. Okay, monitor name is virtual1. Running at pretty low resolution, 124 by 768 resolution, 60 Hertz. Okay, so let's change this. npm dot config okay, it's pretty funny. Monitors. Okay, to change this. Okay, monitor name is virtual1. Okay, and then monitor name is virtual1. Resolution is the 1920 x 108780 at the rate 60 Hertz, right? Then 1920 by 1080 at the rate 60 Hertz. Position 0 by 0, 0 by 0, 10. Scale is 1. Okay, let's see. Let's exit and reboot. Hyprland. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Edit the config file to get rid of this message. Okay. Now what? Monitors. Okay. Monitor. This monitor configs done. Then apps replacement. Don't need this. Fully configured Hyprland. Fully configured Hyprland. Okay. Start configuring. Configuring this section is all about configuring a rising of your Hyprland experience. It links to other pages where necessary and will walk you through the config file, every option and function in it, extending functionality via scripts, some uncommon tips and tricks. For example, switching layout, disabling keybinds on demand, etc. It also contains some sample configuration you can take inspiration from. Start with the start page. Okay, great. Start. The config is location xdc config home hyperlink. In most cases, that maps to config hyperland hyperconfig. You can tell hyperland to use specific configuration file by using config or c argument. Hyperland will automatically generate an example config. If you don't have one, you can find. Okay, removing the line containing auto-generated one will remove yellow warning. Let's remove the yellow warning. npm dot config is hyperland auto-generated one. Remove this line to remove warning. Okay, let's quit. Okay, gone. Exit. Okay, warning is gone. Now configure. However, you can use hypercontrol reload to reload the config manually. Let's reload the config manually. HCL. Okay, done. Start section with name and in separate lines. Okay. Okay, language styles. See, basic configuring. See variables. Let's go to variables. For basic syntax info, C configuring Hyprland. Okay, let's return to the first page. Okay, for this page documents all the options for binds, monitor animation, etc. See the sidebar for anything. See keywords. Please keep in mind that some options are layout specific, will be documented pages and not here. Okay, variable types integer, bool, Okay, floating point, color, string, gradient, font weight. Okay, sections, border size are int, gaps, int, gradient. Okay, I'm going to refer to this later. Let's duplicate this. Okay, snap. Okay, okay, these are variables. Okay, let's go to keyboard section. Keyword sections. Keywords are not variable but commands. For more advanced configuration on this page, you will be presented with some that do not deserve their own page. Okay, startup on compositor. Every time you can execute a shell script on every time the config is shutdown. Compositor exec once command will execute only on launch. Exec once and will launch. Okay, same thing twice. No, exec okay, only on launch. Okay, exec command will it's reload. Okay, shutdown only on shutdown. What is the difference between these two? Sourcing multi-file. Use source keyword to source another file. Globbing is not supported. Globbing. For example, in your Hyprland conf, you can source. Okay. Source my colors. Source custom and Hyprland will enter file. Okay, following linear mean. Okay, it's very detailed. Okay, so monitor already done the monitor config. So binds. Okay, binds are important. Basic bind mods, key, dispatcher parameters. For example, bind super shift q exec Firefox. Okay, will bind opening Firefox to the super shift q. Okay, super shift q mods key. Okay, super plus shift. Okay, mods q modifier exec dispatcher exec. Okay, dispatcher, let's say dispatcher. Execute a shell command, execute a raw shell command. Rules raw. Okay, workspace flow. Okay. Executing metro rules. Okay, dispatch binds. Comma syntax. Okay, super Q. Default binds. Okay, I need to change the cursor. Mouse binds. Where is the cursor? Dispenser. Windows, dispenser, Leicester, steering. Keywords. Station configuring. NVIDIA VM, monitor configuring, cursors. Another yes. If you okay to change the cursor. See hyper cursor. How do I change my mouse cursor? Hyper cursor. The new cursor theme format that many and over widely use X cursor. Okay, this is complicated. There are dozens of options. Okay. Let's Google how was this to see default cursor with exact ones. Recommended for immediate effect. NWZ. What is this? Do I need to install this? let's forget it. I'll change this later, the cursor later. Now what are the default binds? Default keybinds. Okay. Terminal super Q already using. Close active window super C. App launcher super D or super R. Let's say app launcher super D. Okay, not working. I don't have app launcher. Super D or super R. Not working. Let's close. Oh, this is working. Okay. Super Q working, super C working. App launcher. I have no Rofi, no Wofi. I don't have a app launcher. I don't need the toggle floating, toggle floating. Okay, let's toggle floating. D. Okay, let's another toggle floating. Not working. Super E. Do I have a file manager? Super E. No, I don't have file manager. Super E. Super E not working. Toggle full screen. Super F. Not working. Okay. Okay. Binds, default binds. Where is the list of default binds? Default binds. Binds. All binds are not listed. Let's check the npm config file. Is there any binds unlisted? By animations, yes. binds input binds. Okay, these are default binds. Exact main mode Q C kill active M. Okay, shut down dismiss closes Hyprland. Okay, E is the file manager, but I don't have file manager. V toggle floating. Okay, V R is the menu. P sudo. What is sudo? Toggle split. Okay. Up, down, left, right. Okay. So it's move active window. Okay, example is special work space. Okay. Okay, these are the defaults. QCM. I have already tried this tree. E file manager. I don't have file manager. So dolphin. I don't have file manager. Menu hyperlauncher. I don't have these two. So E should be let's change this to Neovim. Okay. Active. Okay. I don't know what is this. Okay. Exact. Explore NVM. This doesn't work. NVM. This should work in theory. File manager. So main mod. This doesn't work. Okay. Okay. Let's install Kotlin. Task configure. I'll not. It's pretty lengthy and detailed. I'll not configure Hyprland right away. So leave this. Leaving this configure Hyprland task for now. So now I need to I'm going to install the IntelliJ IDE. IntelliJ IDEA. Download. Okay. Other version. Okay. Linux. Okay, what is the download settings? Okay, let's download this using Carl. CURL L C. Let's Carl help. C continue. Resume for resume. C. Let's Google this. Okay, let's go. Let's clear this screen. Carl, CURL, okay, let's type the HTTP as download ZBrains ZBrains.com idea 2025.3.2.tar.gz. Let's verify again. Download.zbrains.com idea 2025.3.2.tar.gz. Okay. Okay, downloading. Okay, it'll take 7 minutes. Let's how to install this idea resources support download and install. Download and install idea resources. Product documentation. Tell you the idea. Install and tell you the idea. Okay. Standalone. Standalone installation Linux. Okay, download the tarball. Extract the tarball to the directory that supports file execution. For example, to extract it to the recommended OPT directory, run the following command for the idea: sudo tar xzf idea tar c. Okay, 4 minutes left. Let's check again. 3 minutes left. size is pretty big, 1.4 gig. 2 minutes left. It's almost done. Okay, done is complete. Let's proceed to the next step. Okay, extract the tarball to a directory that supports file execution. For example, sudo ls okay, sudo tar xlf idea c opt. Okay, let's enter the password. Okay, file is extracting. Okay, extraction done. Let's ls l o opt. Okay, extracted. ls l idea. Okay, extracted successfully. Now execute main sh script from the extracted directory to run into the idea. There is a script ls l opt idea bin directory. Okay, idea.sh. I need to execute this. id. Okay, O O P T idea bin idea dot sh. Okay. Start failed, internal error. So leave xtc error, leave xtst. Let's Google it. Leave xtst dot so dot 6 r on is there to beginning of the missing library required by an application update running certain Java application and older software. You need to install library potentially repository if running third-party application. So sudo. Okay, I need to install this. Sudo Hyprland syu leave xtst. Yes. Now start again. Okay, it's starting. Libraries, adverse agreement, agreed. Don't send. Okay, it's working. Take a quit. What is the ID seems to be launched with a script launcher. Please consider switching to a native launcher in IDEA for better experience. Okay. Okay, it's working. Let's create a symbolic link. Let's close this. Okay. Let's create a bash script. npm user bin user local bin. Okay, user local bin idea. Okay, insert bin bash. Let's Google how. I forgot how to make a bash script executable. Okay. Okay. Bang bin bash. Bang bin bash. Okay. Then you need to use no no for independent execution. so that when we close the application, when we close the terminal, the application remains open. So no, the path to the application is opt idea idea. I'm going to use asterisk for template for I'm not going to type whole path, so I'm using asterisk. Then bin IDEA, right? Okay. Then I need to divert all the outputs to the null. Then also need to name dev null 2 and 1 2 and 2 and 1. Okay, and 1%. Okay. Okay, permission denied. Okay, sudo npm user log bin. Okay, bang bin bash for executable. No, for is for the application remain open after even if we close the terminal. So then path to the application, then opt idea, then I'm using asterisk for, I'm not going to type the whole path for directory name, so that for that reason I'm using asterisk. Bin idea. Then we need to divert all the outputs output to dev null, and also the standard error to 1. Also divert the standard error to 1 and %. For remove the control, release the terminal immediately after execution. Let's save this. Let's try if it works or not. Idea. Okay, permission denied. I need to make it idea. There's no idea. I need to make it executable. Sudo c plus plus x2 USR local bin idea. Okay, done. ID. Okay, it's showing up now. Idea. Okay, it's working. Okay, it's working nicely. Okay, let's close this window. Okay, let's go to settings, check for updates. Again, updates are available to beta. Okay, let's update all. Okay, enable auto update. I don't want enable auto update. Restart. Okay, everything worked. So check for updates again. Okay, everything up. Okay, MD64. Okay, that's it for today. I will later configure Hyprland. I don't know if I stream the configuration process because it's pretty lengthy and quite detailed. So I don't know whether I will stream that process. So let's see what happens if it is if I manage to make it streamline the whole process, then I will stream maybe. So it's getting late, so let's close this and good night. Let's exit from okay, shut down shut down now. Okay. Okay, that's all.